What are the 7 simple things that sellers can do to increase their sales, increase their order size, and ultimately make more profit during Q4? Chris, what are they?
The 7 simple ways to increase your Etsy sales and order sizes are, well, actually, Scott, hang on a second, because before we get into those, none of these are actually going to work if no one's looking for your product. So before you watch the rest of this, that's something we need to talk about, right? If no one is looking for your product, no amount of SEOing your way to greatness, no amount of driving traffic, no amount of discounts, no amount of anything else makes a difference. So if what you're trying to do is increase sales and orders in Q4 throughout the rest of the year, we need to take a really hard look at what we're selling and make sure with something like Everbee that people are actually looking for those products, right? So we're going to go and we're going to evaluate the demand in our niche or in the types of products that we are selling using something like Everbee. If no one is looking at that, then we need to make a shift before we get really into the meat of Q4. So with that in mind, let's dive into the 7 ways that if we have demand, we can start to increase our sales, but even more importantly, our order sizes during Q4, meaning our value per customer, how much somebody spends when they come into our shop. The first, and this one should be obvious if you've been hanging around for us for any amount of time, is making sure we have more than one thing in our shop that serves that same niche. So if we're selling to fishermen, we need to have multiple products that somebody would want to buy for the fishermen in their life, right? Q4 really is dominated by gift giving. And so if we have multiple things that they could easily combine together into a really cool gift for the fishermen in their life, that makes their life easier, makes our life better because they're going to be able to combine a few of those things into the ultimate package. It increases our overall sales and it increases the order size for that order. With that in mind, Scott, the other thing, and these two things work really well together. Tip number 2 would be to discount when they're buying multiple products. So Etsy has a variety of ways that we can set up sales and promotions. And one thing I think a lot of people miss because it's a newer feature, right? It's not just their standard 20% off discount, but there is a discount inside of your marketing tab that you can set up that allows buyers to get a discount when they either hit a certain dollar threshold, let's call it $100, or when they hit a certain number of products from your shop threshold. And the reason that we're talking about the number of products in this case is because we want them to buy multiple different things. This does a few really cool things for our shop. One, it increases our order size, which means we're probably going to make more because a lot of those things are going to ship together and they're spending more with us. But 2, and I think this is really important on the long-term side of this, it also gives us a little bit of SEO love across all of those products. We've heard Etsy's team come out, whether it's Josh Silverman or their head of search marketing, come out time and time again and say sales and conversion rate are the thing that really drives rank over and above just the direct match of what's in your title and what the person is typing in. And if we can increase sales organically for those products, then we are going to rank higher. So we can take one sale and spread that out across 2, 3, or 4 products, meaning the rank goes up for all of those in the organic search results, leading to more traffic down the line. Now, I know a lot of people are going to be asking, okay, why the 3 products and not the $100? The reason for that is the 2 things I just mentioned. The other thing is if we're selling some higher end things, we don't want them to go find the cheapest thing in the shop just to get to that threshold and get their 20% off because it means we're not necessarily making the same amount. If we can spread that discount, whether it's 20, 25, whatever that promotion is that we're running across 3 or 4 products, then we end up netting more for ourselves as the seller. Tip number 3 to increase your sales and order sizes in Q4, Scott, it's going to be ensuring that we have that free shipping on orders of $35 or more turned on. Not only is this more important than ever now that Etsy has rolled out their under $6 SEO update, but it's a really cool thing for people. And if we have a lot of products under $35 in the shop, let's say a lot of our stuff is $30, it's a huge incentive for people to be able to go over and add that second thing into their cart so that when they check out, they get the free shipping. Additionally, because of that new update, anything that's purchased that way, any of the products that qualify for that guarantee would get that extra boost that Etsy is giving for people who have shipping under $6. On the individual item side of things, we do need to make sure that our shipping is under $6. If we can make it free, that's probably going to be the best thing. For either of these 2 things, whether we're talking about the under $6 price, Scott, or that free shipping on $35, something I want sellers to know is that we shouldn't be just eating that margin difference, right? We shouldn't be making that free shipping available over 35 and not thinking about the cost to our bottom line. If that means we know our cost of shipping is about $4 or $5, we're actually better off adding that to the top line, that product price, so that when somebody comes in, we make the same amount of money, but they have that additional boost in SEO, that additional boost in the Etsy ranking, and the additional increase and in conversion. The reason that Etsy likes that free shipping over 35 and the under $6 shipping is it increases your conversion rate. So if you're able to take advantage of one or both of those things, not only are you going to rank better in search, but the number of people who purchase your products is going to increase as well, just because of the fact that you're increasing that conversion rate. Tip number 4, Scott, is launching even more in-demand products. And what we're really thinking about right now is products that complement other things that we have in the shop, whether they're holiday products, Q4 type products, or something that will sell all year long. Can we find an additional 3 to 5 things, even if we already have a good number of things that are in demand for our niche? Can we find 3 to 5 more products to add into the shop that would be something that is new for people? And there's a couple big reasons for this. Reason number 1 would be it obviously expands the number of things that somebody could say, oh, that's cool. That goes along with the other thing that I'm buying. But the second big one, Scott, would be for people who have purchased from us in the past, whether we're contacting them through an email list, which is something we'll talk about here in a minute, or they've just favorited our shop and they get those shop updates when we publish new products. This is a great way to bring people back to your shop. And what we've seen from the Etsy buyer survey, what we've seen from our own internal data looking at our shop stats, is people do come back and buy again and again from the same shop. And we know actually the highest converting people on Etsy, Scott, the people who buy once a month or more, love the shops the most because they know that's their go-to destination. And if they bought from us last year at Christmas because we sold them their dad's coolest Christmas gift ever because he loves bass fishing, they're going to come back to us this year if we give them a reason to. So even if we already have a lot of things that might appeal to them, launching those 3 to 5 in-demand products not only brings in new customers, but it brings in a reason for old customers to come back to us as well. Number 5, we need to be running Etsy ads. And I know if you guys have watched any videos from us, you've probably heard me rant and rave about Etsy ads, but especially during Q4, if we're trying to increase our sales and order sizes, running ads on in-demand products, not everything in the shop, but the things that are selling the most right now, is a huge win. Again, all of these things stack together. Not only are we driving that traffic, but if we're doing these other things, we're going to increase that conversion rate. If we have multiple products that they can purchase, if we have that discount, they're going to be able to add multiple things to their cart, and we're going to be able to sell more to that same person, increasing our return on investment for those ads. The real key, the real reason we like running ads on in-demand products right now is it just gets more feet in the shop, right? It gets more eyeballs on our stuff. And that's what this is all about. All of these other things is about increasing conversion rate and order size. But if no one is seeing our stuff, then we don't have anybody to sell to. The more people we can get in, especially early, the more sales we are going to make. And when we layer something like Etsy ads on top of the other things that we're doing, we're going to see that return come in exponentially. Number 6, Scott, and we mentioned running a little bit of a discount earlier. It's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about running sales and promotions for specific events. So not just buy 3, get 20% off, but doing a Black Friday, Cyber Monday sale, doing a Labor Day sale, doing something that is a specific promotional event. And we can create these as sellers at any point and show up and have the benefits of some of those things inside of the Etsy ecosystem. They're going to show the countdown timer when the promotion's about to go away. If it's the best discount we've given in a while, it's going to show up on the search page, leading to an increase in click-through rate and traffic to our listings. The additional promotion, that discount, increases our conversion rate, meaning not only do we get more people to the listing from the search results or from our ads, but we get more of those people to turn into buyers. So if we're not taking advantage of this, we need to be. Do we have to only do this when Etsy is running a sale? No, but they give us a few really cool tools, including a tool in the back end that I think most people miss, Scott, which gives people the ability to join their site-wide promotional events at any point. And it's called Join the Next Sales Event on Etsy. It's right underneath your Run a Sale and Create a Promo Code banner. And they do a pretty good job of just making it look like everything else. But if we're not going to set any of these things up for ourselves, I'd still suggest going into your marketing tab and looking at that. If you click the setup button at any point, they will show you when the next site-wide sales event is going to be coming up. They'll tell you what the requirements are to opt in for that specific Etsy event. That gives us 2 different options. We can either use those criteria, apply, and get a little bit of extra love from Etsy. Get the opportunity to show up on some of their promotional specific landing pages, get the opportunity to show up on some of their marketing potentially, and take advantage of that traffic. Or we can say, hey, I don't want to give 25% off and free shipping and whatever else. Or maybe you missed that deadline, which I think for the next upcoming event, which is their cyber sale, is around October 1st. If we miss that, or we don't want to meet all those requirements, doesn't mean we shouldn't still think about that. Anytime Etsy is running a site-wide sale, if we're doing even a small promotion on our site, something that doesn't necessarily meet Etsy's requirements to qualify for that special promotion, but does give people a reason to come into our listings, we're going to be able to take advantage of that additional traffic. Etsy doesn't mess around when it comes to their site-wide sales events. They run ads, they send emails, they do everything they can to drive as much traffic to the site as possible. So even if we're not participating directly in the event, it's something we're going to want to keep in mind, especially during Q4. So you should be setting up those sales. And if you can, and you get to it in time, make sure you're using that join the next Etsy sales event button to take advantage of all the extra benefits that you get out of that. Tip number 7 to increase your Etsy sales and order sizes for Q4, Scott, you got to send emails. And I know this is something, Scott, you and I rant and rave about all the time, but email is the best way to drive traffic. Not only does it stack with the discounts, not only does it give us the highest return on investment email marketing activity that we can do, but they're also the people who are most likely to turn into buyers. In a lot of cases, they've purchased from us in the past. And if we can stack that with something, not just like Share and Save, where we save on those Etsy fees, but the other discounts that we're running, whether it's participating in that site-wide sales event, whether it's that buy 3 or more and save 20% option that we were talking about earlier, we're going to turn those people into long-term buyers with large order sizes. So just like we were talking about launching those extra 3 to 5 in-demand products, if you have an email list, you should be taking advantage of it. Those people will come back again and again, as long as you give them a reason to. Discounts in a lot of cases are a good enough reason, but saying, hey, we launched these new products like we were just talking about is another great reason to get people back to your shop. If you need any help building out that email list, go ahead and comment email down in the comments and we'll give you our guide for how we do this. Capturing emails and getting those emails to turn into customers is a lot easier than most people think that it is. And if you follow that guide, you'll be 95% of your way to being able to use email to start increasing those sales.